All right, I got exposed by some commenters here on YouTube, and I want to address those comments. Bear with me. I'm just going to do this in one shot, no edits. So let's dive in. This is in response to a video I made about how much you need to post in order to make 5K a month. And I posted, at least in my opinion, doable numbers. And I'm going to be 100% transparent with you, with the hundreds and thousands of clients I've worked with, about what I've learned from them, looking at their data, looking at their analytics, what numbers are 100% accurate, what numbers are high, what numbers are low, and what that actually looks like. I threw those numbers in because I had 60 seconds. I wanted to make it sound reasonable and doable, which I think it is. And I'll explain why. And yeah, but these are the comments I got. So from Mark, 5% clicks through is nuts. Not even Mr. Beast has that, LOL. Literally just typing numbers without any thought. Yeah, because I haven't done this for years. And let's see. Oh, this one too. Numbers are all way off. None of these people, from what I can tell, have actual profiles here. So not much I can do about that. I don't know if these guys have experience in marketing. Don't know what the deal is. But yeah, let's just start with the first one. 5% click through is nuts. Not even Mr. Beast has that. Yeah, he's reaching literally like 1 billion people. Minimum hundreds of millions. Fact of the matter is, and let's just talk about this realistically, like from a YouTube video, which YouTube videos you can have a lot higher click-through rates from views because you don't have to click to a profile. You can just have the link in the description right below, or you can have it on a card. So you have like 2 different ways where you can get people to click the link. Here's the thing though, he does CTAs in those videos to things he's not making content about. So Mr. Beast Chocolate, Beastables, the burger place, I can't remember what that was called, or to ads. And again, they're self-promoted within the content. They're going to have a higher click-through rate than if you run an ad before the YouTube video, period. 9 times out of 10, unless it's a really bad, but like it's Mr. Beast. He does it really good. Issue being too, though, you have to look at his audience. First of all, he's reaching 1 billion people, but it skews way younger. Second of all, he's reaching 1 billion people. Of course, opt-in rates are going to go down when you're targeting 1 billion people. Not everyone is even going to be able to buy your chocolate because it's not even available in their country, right? There's so many issues with literally comparing someone who's trying to make 5K a month versus Mr. Beast, who's literally building billion-dollar businesses. Like, they're 2 different things. To make the comparison is as nuts as he says my 5% click-through rates are. Just going to throw that out there. Numbers are all way off. Don't know why that's there. I'm just going to say, just typing numbers without any thought. Let me do this. I have literally gone through and broken down clients' exact numbers, looking at their live social media analytics with their screen shared to me. And what I have learned is what the average conversion rates are and what that looks like and what happens when your content is performing well and when your content doesn't do jack crap for you. And I know what both ends of the spectrum are. So considering that there's no thought that went into it, considering that is my job, my duty, my sole profession, the only thing I take pride in order to make sure that my clients get results, yeah, he might be right there. Sorry, it's my sarcasm breaking through. It's a Friday. So looking at this chart, let's just start at the top here. And these are the exact numbers. I left it as is. You can go look at the short form. Hopefully you're coming from the short form video to watch this. Revenue, 5K. Okay, that's 60K a year, bud. If we're trying to do this in a month, how many videos do you need to post in a month to make what the average American makes? Actually, it's technically less because average household American income is, I think, 75K a year. And average American income, I think, is actually at like 64 or almost 65K. So it's actually 5K less. But yeah, hopefully for this, you're doing a service, B2B service, easiest thing to do. Tons of small businesses out there that need things done for them. They can't hire a full-time employee. They need something built out. They need a package that can be done over a couple of months, whatever. So for example, let's say you're installing like Pipedrive as a CRM with email automations and follow-up campaigns for their sales reps and all of this really amazing stuff. And you're going to do a 5K package over 3 months, whatever, blah, 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 blah. So you do like 3 payments of $1,800. Boom for your client. don't butcher me on the math. I know we have Excel or sheets open here, but ballpark. So closes, you need to make one sale. Seems pretty reasonable to me. That's just the basic math here. Hopefully we're all on the same page still. Close rate, 33%. So if you're coming from cold outbound, you might be like, wow, Soaring is higher than a freaking kite right now. 33%, I was lucky if I closed 5%. Here's the thing, door-to-door sales, when I did door-to-door sales, I was in the top 10% of sales reps ballpark in the industry for pest control. When I talk to a decision maker, so talking about closed decision makers, I would close about 10% daily. Granted, that's not 33%, but I am knocking on someone's door to sell them pest control. Okay, like pretty hard sale when you're the 5th person that summer to do it. Having someone come to you from organic content to close. Very normal close rate, 30 to 40%. When you follow our Converts framework, and I'm going to talk about this, because a lot of this only works with the Converts framework. If you know nothing else about marketing, or you do cold outbound, or you do ads for top of funnel, like you're not going to get this, because you're going to think these numbers are insane, because to you they are insane. They're not possible unless you hit on the right psychological triggers in order to convert these people from views into sales. Period. So I understand why you might not think it's real. I get it. But 33%, and again, like, go watch some Alex Hormozi videos, like information-based services. Go talk to some people who have high-ticket coaching programs or consulting services. Closing 33%, a lot of companies, their bar for their closures is 30%. You will be fired if you don't close at above 30%, period. So not crazy. So we need 3 live calls. Again, math, if you can get over the 33% close rate, you got to close 1 in 3 deals. We can get there. Now, the one thing this doesn't take into account for, and I'll be honest, because I also track sales numbers, and I really care about what I do. But this sheet isn't that in-depth, but we can talk about how many of those 3 are qualified. Pretty common is to have 80% of your leads be qualified. Now, in this case, and again, we're going to talk about this, but I assumed that you can get 3 on the books that are qualified. And we'll talk about this. And here's the thing with this funnel. This funnel isn't accounting for everything else that's going to be going on in the background when you're posting organic content, especially on a platform like Instagram or even YouTube. So show rate, 70%, that's industry average. If you're below 70%, you're not doing good. If you're below 60%, you have a major problem. High is 80%, but like 70%, very fair. And you know, number one thing you can do to get people to show up, message them the second that they apply. Throw their number into your phone, send them a text, confirm their call, get them to engage. Boom. The likelihood of them showing up skyrockets. Every single person I've been taking sales calls this last week for a number of different reasons, and every single person I was able to text that had a valid US phone number and that I was able to get a reply from showed. The one person who I didn't get a reply from also showed. So yeah, we need to get 4.5 booked calls. But again, let's say that 1 out of 5, 20%, because 80% are qualified or whatever, bump that up to 5 calls. This isn't like, again, this isn't like the craziest math on the face of the planet. And this is where people might have an issue. 5% link in bio conversion rate and or 5% profile view conversion rate. So number one thing, average website converts at 1.98%. Average. And this is like with a lot more traffic, like across like the entire internet. Neil Patel, I do believe is, actually, I think where I got this number from actually, the study that his agency did. Was 1.98%, but like a lot of people have studied this. That's 2% of all web traffic. I'm saying you can get 2.5 times that conversion. And you might say, hey, Soren's off his rocker, 250%. But like, here's the thing. If you're not familiar with statistics, you might not understand what an outlier is or what a top quartile is, right? So the thing with this is we're not looking to be average. Websites convert below this. But the thing is you have to account for what type of traffic is being sent to it. If you're running ads to a cold outbound audience that's never seen your face before, yeah, you're probably going to have a really low conversion rate on your product or service or opt-in. If you're running retargeting ads to people who've already seen your organic content, it's probably going to be higher. If you're running retargeting ads to a funnel page that has something that audience wants, aka a lead magnet that's enticing, you're going to have a really high opt-in rate. I've talked to people and seen numbers where they're running ads and they have a 40 to 60% opt-in rate on their lead magnet. Wow, that's a lot higher than 5%. So, like, again, read it with context. We're trying to get 5 booked calls per month. I consistently get this. Like, this is a pretty common average on our own sales page. And for like a lot of different clients, it's about 5%. We've had times where we've been converting at 7.5%. Usually that's during peaks where, you know, our messaging is really landing well, or we have something like a promotion going on with urgency. We get higher conversion rate through our funnel. There's times where we drop to 3% because of a more controversial video online that brings in, we'll call it hate traffic. They have no intention of buying, and, you know, they just try and clog up our funnel because they don't like what one of us said on social media, which is fine. You know, you're not always meant for everyone. Link in bio clicks, we're trying to get 100 over a month. Okay, that's 3 a day. Not super crazy number, at least in my opinion. 5% profile view, so people who view your profile to clicking through to your link in bio. So let's think about this logistically here. And I think this is where he said 5% is crazy, or is what he meant, at least to me. It makes the most sense here. Just because if we look at this number, let's think about this logistically. Again, they just got done viewing content. Why on earth are you going to someone's profile? It's either A, to view more content, B, look at highlights if you're on Instagram, which most people don't go there intentionally to look at highlights, or C, to see if they offer something that resonates with you through their link in bio. So all your bio is supposed to do is tee them up to click on the link in bio. Tell them who you help, why they should trust you, and to click the link in bio, why they should do it. You do those 3 things. Again, 5% would be a low number. And again, for all 3 of these numbers here, 3% is the minimum when we're doing organic content. If you're following our Converts framework, 3% is the bare minimum. You could be dragging your feet with it, but 3% is going to be the minimum conversion rate. I've seen it go lower if you're really bad, or if you have a video that goes viral that is not related to whatever you do. So let's say you're doing a Mr. Beast style video where you're running with a bag of cash. Unless you're selling people on how fast you can run with a bag of cash strapped to your back, you know, no one's going to click through. It's going to go super viral because you don't have to speak any languages to consume that content, but like, it's not going to convert people to your business, right? Or into any of your offers or services. So, but like 5% is like, again, that's good. Good. It's not great. It's not awesome. It's good. 3% is the minimum. 5% is good. What I tell clients, 10 to 15% is great. 15 to 20% is awesome. And again, this is just a layup. We're not talking about selling them. You know, they're between seeing your content and going to your link in bio. And it should be really easy to get them to that link. And then we have video view conversion rate. Yeah, this is like, again, 3% of, and like if you take it off of views, that can be high. Oftentimes I prefer a more honest number to use for this is to look at your reached audience. The thing is, if you're new, your reached audience and your views are probably really close to the same. You're probably going to reach, you know, let's say you're reaching 50,000 people. You're probably also getting about 50,000 views. And let's say you post 3 times a day, like on TikTok, for example, you get 300 views per video. So slightly above average, you're barely out of 200 view jail. So you get 1,000 views a day. That's 30,000 views a month. And realistically, because you don't have a large following, it's going to go to different people every time. So yeah, it can be an accurate number. It just really depends. The other thing is sometimes you might be reaching 60,000 people, but, or you might be getting 60,000 views, but you might be reaching 10,000 people. So everyone's watching one of your videos at least 6 times, or 6 different of your videos, which means they're a lot more likely to convert. So, you know, pulling 3% from that, again, you might get that because you might have a lot higher conversion rate on that 15%. But again, it's just like not the craziest number in the world, and it's something I've observed a lot. Usually if you're doing really bad, like people who go from viewing your content to your profile, 1%, 1.3%, that's like really bad. Like if someone is posting content for their business, like to get a 1.3% conversion rate, that's just really bad. So yeah. And again, what this doesn't account for, ManyChat, comment, real CTAs, comment on feed post CTAs. This doesn't account for views on Instagram stories. This is solely for views on Reels. So if you're getting additional views from other parts of Instagram, this is not the part of the funnel that like it's not even accounting for that. So like in order for you to make one sale a month to make 5K a month, if you're also posting on your stories and selling, which you should be every single day, if you're posting feed posts, if you're doing any additional stuff, if you're working with people in the DMs from a comment CT on a reel, you're getting additional traffic, you're going to crush that number. So like, again, you might not end up with these exact numbers, but if the end goal is for you to make 5K a month so you can quit your job, and you hit these, generally speaking, these other targets, you're going to do it. And that's the whole point of this, is so that you crush your one target of making 5K. You'll probably make a lot more if you do this, and you have stories, and you have comment CTAs, and you're posting on all of these different platforms. Yeah. You'll probably make a lot more than 5K from my experience. Can't make any promises, but just from my experience, yeah. And to be honest, we've had long runs. We're talking about close rate 30%. We've had long runs where we've had sales reps for us closing at above 60% for multiple months on end, with multiple 6 months or with over 6 figures a month of income coming in. So not just like, 6K at, you're making 6K a month at a 60% close rate. No, like over 6 figures a month. So again, like this isn't perfect. You might think some of these numbers are outlandish depending on your marketing experience. Like if you're coming from cold outbound, you might think I'm high, or even ads. But like in organic, this is relatively normal on organic social media content. If you're talking about YouTube or podcast, the conversion rates are probably going to go up because of the amount of content they consume. So they're way more sold. If we're talking about Threads or X, these numbers are probably going to go down more because they're way less invested in who you are when you're limited to 140 characters. Now, X doesn't have that anymore, but you get my point. And if we're talking about search is one of the most powerful things. That's why TikTok, if you can get search videos on TikTok that are related to your business, they are just money makers. They just print cash. But yeah, these are how these numbers are mapped out. Hopefully this was helpful. Hopefully this makes sense to you guys. If you have questions, please leave a comment down below. If you think I'm full of crap, tell me why I'm full of crap. If you just want to tell me that I'm full of crap, sure, go. You can do that too. I won't complain too much. I might make a video being like, oh, you can't statistically prove that I'm full of crap, but that's just who I am. But yeah, if you have an honest question, please leave it down below. I'd be more than happy to answer it. This is like from my experience. Like I live this day in and day out. If I wasn't confident in these numbers, I wouldn't have posted that video. I think honestly, the only number that can be a hard stretch when you're starting out is the 5% link in bio conversion. I think that can be tough. However, I still think it's doable. If you're willing to put in a little bit of work, embed your calendar, for example, on a landing page with some copy. Maybe you did some work for free to some clients or to some family members that own businesses so you can have some results or testimonials up there. I think you can hit it. Especially, if you're reaching 67,000 new people and they've never seen your stuff before, I think you can still hit it. And if you're doing this for a couple months, again, over time, people are going to consume more of your content. They're going to be more bought in on who you are, what you do. They're going to know you more on all of this. So post content. Just post content. It's the future. Even people who love ads like Alex Ramelzi, guess what he does? He posts content because there is value to it. Neil Patel, who runs an agency, an ad agency, an SEO agency, right? I actually don't know if he does organic, but he makes organic content, even though he trashes on organic content every single day. So there is an ROI that he receives for making organic content. And it's just the future. It's just the future. So if you're not doing it already, start doing it. If you want to, post enough content to quit your job, which is I was just trying to give hope to people wanting to do that. Follow this framework. Let me know if it doesn't work for you. I'd love to look at your content, give you some feedback, help you get there. Because I want you to do what you're passionate about, live the life you want. And if you guys got any value from this, please subscribe to the channel, hit a like, leave a comment of support. I would really appreciate that. And yeah, that's it for this video. Have a good day and post content.